boop, beep, boop, beep, 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 boop. It's... Oh my god, it's a boom tube, got me, oh my god. Well, once again, from a secret, undisclosed location, hidden somewhere deep in the bowels of historic downtown St. John's, Newfoundland, comes in the Library of Graphic Literature with your host with the most, me, Wallace Ryan. So, how's everyone doing? Of course, the comics, they be back. Yes, yes, yes. And of course, being hidden way out here in the North Atlantic on this little island of ours, it took us a few extra days to get it. But hey, they came regardless. So, let's get down to it. So happy they're back, aren't you? I know you are. I know you are. I know you are. What am I? Anyway, got a nice little stack here, so let's get to it right away. Now, it's been one busy day. I'll tell you more about that later, actually. But let's rip open this Adventures of Superman by George Perez. Now, I do believe a lot of this is more his writing and I'll tell you now, and writing and breakdowns. Let's see, pencilers George Perez, Pablo Marcos, yeah, okay. Pencilers Jerry Ordway, Mike Mignola. Pencilers George Perez, penciler George Perez, okay, Rick Breeding. Okay, oh, and Roger Stern joins in with the writing. Okay, so he does do actually a fair amount with it, but he does have a lot of help from a few friends and stuff like that. And you know, it's the storytelling, it's the layouts, it's the panels. That's so cool with George Perez. I've been a fan of George Perez since, oh God, way back to the Deadly Hands of Kung Fu days, and that ain't yesterday. So here you go. Feast your eyes on a bit of classics Superman by George Perez. Come on, tell me you like it. I like the fact that Perez has always been able to jam. I mean, besides, I love his drawing style. He's able to jam so much storytelling, so many panels onto one page a lot of times. And I love that. Come on. Don't tell me you don't love it. I said don't tell me that. Anyway, so yeah. First of a new crop of books. Yeehaw. Oh, I'm so excited. I just can't. I'm gonna explode. Let's see. Oh yeah. Now this is one actually I've been waiting. I've been dying to get my greasy little mitts on for a while. I can remember trying to explain to someone about this book. This is a collection of the comic book series from DC from the 1970s called First Issue Special. I can remember debating with some guy and saying, well, you know, they're only putting like first issue or one issue of all these characters out, you know, blah, blah, blah. And it's just like, well, that's the whole reason behind First Issue Special. First Issue Special, basically, it was kind of like a Marvel Premiere type of comic, except unlike Marvel Premiere, which would have, continuous stories a lot of times, like say when they had Doctor Strange, and they ran like, oh God, I don't know, 12 issues, maybe, a lot of issues anyway, and you know, and sort of really give time to regenerate a comic, and which they did with that, for instance. But with First Issue Special, it was just, you just got one shot at it for this. And this, of course, has some great classics from Kirby's, a couple of Kirby stories, the Atlas, Manhunter, Dingbats of Danger Street. There was the New Gods, Codename Assassin, Creeper, Metamorpho, Lady Cop, Green Team, Warlock, Outsiders, and best of all, the classic Dr. Fate story that Walt Simonson did along with the late great Marty Pasco. So yeah, it's kind of a neat little. I like these type of books like this. So let's have a closer look here. Okay, so of course there's this. We'll start off with Atlas. Actually, there you go. That was this was actually. I thought this was actually a great Kirby story. I mean, look at this. Look at that. Now, come on! Don't tell me that Kirby ain't the greatest when it comes to 2-page panels like that. Then it went down to the Green Team, which was Joe Simon and Gerry Conway. And that was, that's okay. Then there was Metamorpho with Ramona Fredon. Then Lady Cop. This is one of the few in this series that I actually never did have back when I was a kid. So this is John Rosenberger and Vinnie Coletta. So yeah, some sort of Lady Cop type of thing. Now, of course, I always liked this one, the Manhunter. This was actually one of my favorites. But classic 70s Kirby. Wildly imaginative. Oh, and then into Dingbats of Danger Street. Then, of course, a classic from Steve Ditko, The Creeper, one of my favorites. And then, of course, the introduction of The Warlord by Mike Grell. I, of course, loved this comic at the time. I was a huge Mike Grell fan and absolutely just went insane for this comic. Now, of course, this here is now, as a matter of fact, this is probably, yeah, here it is. Look. I still have my original comic here. This was the first issue special for Dr. Fate. And this was a magnificent piece of work by Walt Simonson and Marty Pasco. I mean, look at the layout's fabulous, the artwork top notch. Great story. It was one of my favorites out of this entire series, to be quite honest. I must have reread this 10,000 times. Yeah, Walt, love this, Walt. Well, and then the Outsiders, not the Batman and the Outsiders that we're so familiar with. This was once again, Gerry Conway and Joe Simon and Craig Fleisel. So, yeah, sort of an interesting type of approach. Then there was Codename Assassin with the Redondo Studio, I do believe. Let's check this out. Stephen Skeeth, yeah, the Redondo Studio. Al Milgrom embellishing it. And so I'm assuming it's Nestor and folks. And then last but not least, oh yeah, then there was the Starman. This one was pretty good. This was Mike Fosberg, I do believe, yeah, and Mike Royer. It's actually a really cool thing. I like the way Royer inked Fosberg. He did a great job. He really brought him out. And then last but not least, we have the return of the New Gods after all those years. Only this time it was at the hands of Mike Fosberg and Denny O'Neil and Gerry Conway. Not bad, but it's not Kirby. But still, pretty good. Another good Fosberg title. So yeah, definitely one of my favorite classic 1970s series. You got to get this one. It just 12 little gems. But yeah, stunning. 13 little gems. Sorry. And it's funny because that one leads right into this. This is The New Gods by Gerry Conway with Don Newton and Dan Atkins. Of course, this leads right off from there. It, as a matter of fact, this probably even has, yeah, first issue special number 13. So this actually starts from that series and continues on. This and this and the Warlord, actually, I think we're about the only ones to really continue on. Yeah, the only series to really continue on from the first issue specials. Now with this one, of course, the first one was by Mike Vosburgh, but then there were a few other people involved here too. Was Don Newton? He did a few of the issues, and I kind of something cool about Don Newton's work. I don't know. He's one of the more underrated comic book artists from DC back in the 70s. Rich Buckler, Dick Dillon, Arvell Jones, George Perez, and Mike Vosburgh. And written by Gerry Conway and Denny O'Neil. So of course this one starts with first issue special. And then it went from there right into its own title there. And this was the, oh, let's have a look at the cover here. And this was the cover, right on, the Return of the New Gods. So yeah, it started out with never really did cotton to that new Orion. I liked Orion when he had the Astro glider with him. That was cool. So yeah, sort of an interesting, and then Rich Buckler took over for a while, and his kind of like Rich's stuff too. Here. Don Newton and Dan Atkins. Here we have more Don Newton. And this, I think it looks like Arvell Jones, yeah. But yeah, not, it's not Kirby. But all in all, not a half bad series. And then of course there's a Justice League, Justice Society team up story thrown in for a good measure. So yeah, still, Conway was a good writer. Did like Conway stuff. Liked it a lot. Now, okay. Now here, that's funny because I was talking about this today when we were doing an interview for Thursday Comics, which I'll tell you about towards the end. Okay. Now, this from the fine folks at Dark Horse Comics comes yet another volume in the EC archives, and this one I've been waiting for a long time because this is Impact. And of course, Impact has some great people working in it, some great artists. Just to give you an idea, we have Reed Crandall, Ghastly Graham Ingalls, George Evans, Bernie Krigstein, Reed Crandall, Jack Davis, Graham Ingalls, Joe Orlando, Jack Davis, I know that's the cover, Reed Crandall, Jack Davis, Jack Kamen, and so on and so forth. But the cool thing about this book more than anything else is the story in the very first issue of Impact here. Impact number 1. This is a new direction in magazines now, remember that. And what it is with this, Crandall, love Reed Crandall stuff. Man, that guy could draw. And Ghastly Graham Ingalls, who reminds me so much of the late great Bernie Wrightson, of course. But this is the story of stories, Master Race. this is a revolutionary story for its time. This, of course, is, I'll tell you from our discussions with someone earlier today, he even brought this up, talking about the influence that people like Will Eisner would have had on Bernie Krigstein. My creative partner and good pal, Paul Tucker, loves the story. Well, he's a big Krigstein fan anyway. But yeah, an absolute landmark. And it's worth seeing. I mean, look at look. You can even see how Steranko was influenced by Krigstein. But yeah, just an absolute delight to read some of this stuff here. I believe there's at least one other Krigstein story mixed in with all this. Impact. Love the title. So different. So special. George Evans, I always liked George Evans stuff. Now George Evans is a highly underrated artist. I know I'm always saying this person's underrated and that person's underrated and Earl Grey Tea is underrated. But yeah, glad to see Settle Justice, War Against Crime, and Shock Illustrated Stories still to come from Dark Horse in 2020. So yeah, Impact for those of you who love some good historical comics of that are actually very, very influential. This one, Master Race, this is the one. This is the one to get. Okay. Whew. Whoa, that's a lot. Now, last but definitely not least is this interesting, and this is really cool. The varnish on this makes it feel like a basketball. And it looks like a basketball too, but it feels like a basketball. And it is From Small Steps to Great Leaps, Dragon Hoops, by Gene Luen Yang, best known as, what did he do? American Born Chinese, and did Avatar, and what was this other one? Boxer. Boxer and Saints, which was absolutely amazing. So it's this guy, and I mean, wow, talk about pages. Look at the size of this book. Look, it just keeps on going. This, of course, is from the fine folks at First Second. Let me strip off the outer thing just so I can bring it closer for you to have a look at. But yeah, I like to get a good graphic novel every once in a while. Cool, hey? So if you're a basketball fan, this might be right up your alley. I know y'all miss basketball because of COVID. But hey, that was the other good news too this week. NHL hockey will be coming back soon. So there'll be a lot of hockey over the summer, which is, the perfect time to play hockey. Of course. But yeah, this looks good. I'm done to check this out. So, Dragon Hoops. Check it out. And like I said, I love the cover too, just with that spotted texture. I'm serious, you can feel it. Very, very cool. Anyway, I guess that's it for the new books this week. I know it looked like a lot, but I zipped through them pretty fast, didn't I? Well, it's also late. This is late Wednesday, by the way. I'm going to be posting this Thursday, so that's why it's kind of dark in here, too. But now, the big thing, and what we spent most of this evening at, was myself and my good pal Dennis Osborne, my co-host on Thursday Comics. We tried this week to have our first interview. So we got all kinds of new software and hardware, and it was working on it all week, and there were a few technical issues here and there, but the more and more we do it, the more we'll straighten it out. But the cool thing was we had a chat with Erlen Schumer, known for his Silver Age of comic book art. And the reason we went with Erlen was because he's doing a seminar on the web about Will Eisner's 80th anniversary of the Spirit. So we ended up talking with him for an hour and a half. I got a few glitchy issues I'm trying to fix with it. There's a bit of an echo in it. I think I may put it up anyway because it was a fun interview. Me and Dennis had a grand time. Erlen was very entertaining, and he's very knowledgeable and all that. Just love talking comics with meaty people like Erlen, who really does really has a grasp on the art form. So check it out. That's going to be posted tomorrow. It's an hour and a half long, but if any of you like Will Eisner, you got to tune in because it's a bit of fun. And as usual, like I say, that's half the thing with myself and Dennis when we took on doing the Thursday comics, was that we knew nothing about podcasting, and that's what we want to show people too, is our struggle and how we improve and we work, and we do. We try to bring a good show to you every week or so, and now that we're getting the interviews underneath our belt, we'll hopefully be able to bring you some really interesting people to listen to and for us to talk to. Now it's funny because Erlen did a lot of the talking. We had a list of questions that we were going to ask him, but we just got into talking about Eisner, and it just kept on going and going. And then at the end of it, after we signed off and we looked at our list of questions, and we said, "Oh my God, he actually answered all the questions even without us having to ask them." So, like I say, if you like Will Eisner, check it out. And the webinar is June the 1st at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The tickets are $10 to attend virtually and in this age of COVID. So check it out. He does some very great visual lectures. As he says, lectures kind of a hard word. They're just great presentations. They're as opposed to sometimes when you go to see a lecture and it's one slide and it's up there for like 10 minutes or whatever. He goes through a lot. He keeps it moving ahead, and actually myself and Dennis are going to get together and on Monday, and we're actually going to watch it ourselves. We're looking forward to it. So check out our interview with Maverick comic historian Erlen Schumer, and we had a great time. We're looking forward to more interviews. So, and feel free to comment and let us know what you thought. And actually, if there's anyone out there who can help us with technical issues, if you hear something in it and hey, I know how to fix it, feel free to message us. We have no shame. Anyway, that being said, it's time to boom to my way out of here. I love you folks. So glad to have the new comics back. I actually had one person said, they liked it when I did a show over that way. Or I did a show in that corner of the studio. Now that one there, I was standing up and I was chopping off the top of my head. So I really had planned that one. But I kind of like sitting down here. But I will actually consider doing them from different angles sometimes. And once the summer comes along, I'm even going to take it outside. There's a park right across the street from here, Bannerman Park, and I'd love to do a show from there because it's outside. It's beautiful setting, trees and nature, and just pure fun, just pure oxygen. Anyway, love you very much, everyone, and let's celebrate the comics being back. Oh my God! Oh, it's pulling me away. I love you all. See you later.